Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha. Hello everyone. So I haven't shared a rebirth case for some time, and today I'd like to share a rebirth case from Mexico. So a lot of the rebirth cases I shared were from China, and today I'll share a rebirth case which happened in Mexico City, Mexico. So this is a rebirth case for a man called Alberto Antonio León Damián, who was 35 years old. At the time of his death, he was a bioengineer and worked as a farmer. So how do we get to know about his rebirth case? This was shared by his sister Monica, and Monica is a member of our Lotus family, and she gave us permission to share her brother's rebirth case. So her brother Alberto was declared medically dead on 27th of June at 9:50 p.m. in Mexico City, Mexico. After 2 days of being in intensive care due to a terrible accident. And before he was declared medically dead, his sister Monica was whispering the name of Amitabha Buddha in his ear. So Alberto had never heard of Amitabha Buddha before, and Monica was the only Buddhist in the entire family. Although Monica wasn't a Pure Land practitioner, she practiced Tibetan Buddhism, but she felt very drawn to Amitabha Buddha when she first heard of this name from one of her teachers, and she also practiced Nianfo Amitabha recitation alongside her main practice. So although Monica did not know so much about how to assist Nianfo at the time of dying, but she carried out everything perfectly correct. So after the brother was declared medically dead, Monica asked the hospital if she could spend some alone time with her brother, and she got 2 hours with her brother, and what she did in that time was doing Nianfo, as she was reciting Amitabha Buddha for the brother. And before she started, she also said this out loud: Amitabha, please help my brother in this moment and take him with you to Sukhavati so he does not suffer anymore in the cycle of reincarnation, gets enlightened in your Lotus family, and is able to help other sentient beings to do the same. May the merit of this recitation be transferred to him. After Monica said this, she started her recitation non-stop, and she also recited the name out loud. And she was very single-minded when she was doing the recitation with her eyes closed, so she did not notice how the brother's expressions had changed. Only after 2 hours, when she opened her eyes, she looked at the expression of her brother. He was completely changed. Before, he did not have a good expression, and everybody saw that. His mouth was slightly open and his mouth was downward because of the tubes that help him breathe. And the brother wasn't a happy person in his ordinary life. So when he passed, the expression was like his usual expression with the mouth downward. And we'll show a photo after for you to compare the before and after expression. And after Monica recited the name, the brother had a smile on his face. This was 2 hours after he was declared medically dead. Now, a lot of people, when they were declared medically dead or when the heart stopped beeping, the consciousness could still very much be in the body, because the consciousness could be very attached to the body, and the consciousness would not leave the body so quickly. For a lot of people, if they don't practice Nianfo in their life, then most likely it will take them quite some time for the consciousness to leave the body. So Monica executed everything correctly when helping the brother Nianfo at the time of dying. And it was also very good that she gave the guidance unintentionally. She prayed to Amitabha Buddha and tell Amitabha Buddha to receive the brother to his Sukhavati, the land of ultimate bliss. So because she said all this out loud, the brother's consciousness could register this, and it could help the brother to establish faith and vow. And because she also Nianfo out loud, so it also helped the brother's consciousness to register the practice and Nianfo together. So remember the 3 provisions to guarantee anyone to attain rebirth, particularly at the time of death. Faith, vow, and Nianfo. One must satisfy these 3 criteria, particularly at the time of death, for anyone to attain rebirth in the Pure Land. And because of Monica's unintentional guidance, the brother's consciousness could register faith and vow and Nianfo all together. And someone may be like, how do you know he definitely attained rebirth in the Pure Land? So there were quite a few signs which could establish that brother attained rebirth in the Pure Land successfully. First, we see the change of his expression. This is a drastic change from a very sad or even depressed expression to a very happy and peaceful expression. So after Monica finished assisting Nianfo, the mother also came in and said, "Oh, what happened? Your brother definitely did not look like that before." So everyone in the family was very surprised to see the change of the brother after he passed away, after Monica's assisting Nianfo. So for beings who attain rebirth in the Pure Land, they should have a very good expression because they saw Amitabha Buddha come to receive them. So the brother's expression looked like he had definitely seen the Buddha come to receive him. Otherwise, he could not have this happy face, happy smile on his face. Another thing is that Monica told us the brother's body was completely soft after she assisted Nianfo, and also the last place that was warm was the crown. So all the other parts of the body were cold except the crown. Remember, in one of our videos, we talk about how we can judge where the consciousness might go by looking at the temperature of the body. Where was the last part that still had a bit of warmth? That means that's where the consciousness exits the body. So if the consciousness left from the crown, which was the case of Alberto, then he definitely attained rebirth in the Pure Land. If the forehead was the last part that was warm, which means the consciousness left from the forehead, then the being attained rebirth in the heaven. If the heart was the last place that was warm, then the being is reincarnated as a human. If it was the stomach, then the being reincarnated as an animal. If it was from the knees, then the being is reincarnated as a hungry ghost. If the feet was the last place that was warm, then the being fall into the hell realm. So Monica touched the brother's bodies 2 hours after she assisted Nianfo, after seeing the happy face in his brother's body. And she confirmed that the rest part of the body was cold except the crown. And the reason why she touched the brother's body was also because she was trying to find signs according to her teacher. And the body was completely soft. Even after 24 hours, there was no rigor mortis. Because later the brother's body was transferred to her home, and she was able to keep reciting sutras and Nianfo for the brother for 24 hours and transfer merit to him. So what a wonderful sister. So luckily Monica was a Buddhist and she knows about Amitabha Buddha, and she could be there to assist Nianfo for her brother at the time of dying. So all these causes and conditions were satisfied for the brother to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, despite it was the brother's first time that heard about Amitabha Buddha. So it's very important to give guidance to people who have never heard of Amitabha Buddha before at the time of dying, so they could register faith, vow, and Nianfo for them to attain rebirth successfully in the Pure Land. Monica also told us that the brother was not even ordinarily happy in this life. He had a lot of suffering, physical, emotional, and mental. His mind was tormented by several things. He suffered from depression and other afflictions, and he was attracted by violence, whether it was playing video games that involved killing, watching films and TV shows, etc. And he drank a lot of alcohol and smoked a lot of tobacco. But in the meantime, he was also not mean to others. He cared for others, family and friends, and his daughter. So he was also a nice person, but with a lot of suffering and bad habits. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of person you are, as long as at the time of death you can generate faith, vow, and Nianfo, then you can go to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. Remember the 9 grades of rebirth. Whether one can attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land depends on one's faith and vow, and one's grade of rebirth depends on his practice. Even if you have no practice in your life, but at the time of death, if you can recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, even for 10 recitations continuously before your last breath, or sometimes even 1 or a few recitations before your last breath, as long as you are sincere and single-minded, then you can attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So it's very easy to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land as long as you satisfy the 3 criteria of faith, vow, and Nianfo. And Monica also told us on her way to the cemetery, she also noticed a cool breeze. At that time in Mexico, it was very hot, and the cool breeze took away the heat from everybody. And what was funny was that she noticed none of the trees or plants moved, but she could feel this cool breeze that just take away the heat from everybody. So all the signs we discussed before, like how the brother's expression changed and how the crown was the last place that was warm, the body was completely soft, there was no sign of rigor mortis. All this I could prove that the brother had definitely attained rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. Also because Monica was there to do supportive chanting, and she also guided the brother's consciousness to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So I find this very inspiring, and I'm really happy to hear that more and more people, not just in China but in other countries, can Nianfo and attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So I hope this case can deepen your faith and vow towards attaining rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So may all beings hear the name of Amitabha Buddha and attain rebirth in his land of ultimate bliss. Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Amituofo.